memorial services such as this by playing our nation's anthem and by praying to an almighty God. "20 years ago, Mississippi came face to face with one of the worst natural disasters ever recorded. In fact, at the time, 5 times larger than any natural disaster in the history of our country. Many of us can remember exactly where we were when this once-in-a-generation storm made landfall. And many of us remember all too well the scars it left behind. While this storm is one of our state and our nation will never forget, we will always remember the strength and the resilience of our people. Together, we proved to the world who we were as Mississippians, who we are as Mississippians. The most courageous, while also the most charitable people on this earth. Hurricane Katrina may have reshaped our coastline and our state for years, but it did not change who we are as people. In fact, it highlighted the very spirit of Mississippi, and it brought out the very best in each of us. Hurricane Katrina proved that Mississippi and her people can be knocked down, but we cannot be beat, regardless of the calamities thrown at us. It doesn't matter if it's a hurricane or a tornado, or inches upon inches of rainwater or Gulf of America water. Together, we will always rise up above insurmountable odds. We will always win, and we will always come back stronger. Together, we prove you should never bet against Mississippi. In its wake, Katrina left wreckage of unimaginable destruction, of heartbreak, and of tremendous loss. The storm took the lives of 238 of our fellow Mississippians. The storm displaced thousands and thousands of families, and it really devastated our state. All 82 counties in our state were declared federal disaster areas, and we were all left trying to pick up the pieces. Today, we remember not only those 238 Mississippians who lost their lives, we also remember their families. But we also remember the unbreakable spirit that emerged like many of us had never, ever witnessed before. We remember our neighbors who became first responders. Hand in hand, we helped one another and we lifted each other up. We remember those who shared food, those who provided shelter, and those who kept one another safe, even after they themselves lost everything. We remember our brave men and women in uniform, our brave service members, our police officers, our firefighters, our medical personnel, and everyone else who worked tirelessly without rest for days on end to help their fellow Mississippians in their greatest time of need. These heroes of Mississippi did not hesitate. Instead, They ran toward the danger when others had no choice but to flee. They consciously chose not to leave, but to stay and to help, putting their own lives at risk to ensure others would survive. For that, Mississippi will remain eternally grateful for their service. Today, we also remember our local, state, and federal officials who helped fearlessly lead recovery efforts in the face of uncertainty and who helped navigate Mississippi through uncharted territory. There are a lot of people who did their job, who performed their role during that time. And I'd love to take the time to thank every single one of you individually. Obviously, we don't have the time for that today. But let's start with Governor Haley Reeves Barbour. Governor, your leadership is an inspiration to all of us. You know, during my tenure as governor, I've dealt with a few natural disasters. We had 14 in my first 14 months that were federally declared. And one of the things that occurs in every single one of them, as governor, you got a lot of decisions to make. You need to be in a command center or an emergency operations center making those decisions. But on every single time, there is this strong desire within you to get on the ground and help people. And all of us make different decisions as to when the right time to do that is. But I think it's fair to say that no one played a more valuable role for the 63rd governor of the state of Mississippi during Katrina than did Ms. Marshall. Because she was Haley's eyes and ears on the ground. And she reported back to him every single day. When he wasn't able to get here because he had other responsibilities in getting things done, she was here. And she knew what was going on, and she knew what was needed. And I witnessed it a time or two. I can assure you, she made sure whatever needed to be done got done. Ms. Marshall, thank you for your service to our state. When I think about leadership in a time such as that, I really do believe the most valuable thing the leader can do is to make sure that everyone else involved is doing their job, doing what they can to help in the recovery. Whether it was Senator Lott and his leadership on the Finance Committee, which led to the Go Zone legislation being passed, whether it was Senator Cochran and his leadership, obviously elected officials who didn't report to the governor necessarily, whether it was other elected officials in our legislature and our statewide force. Everybody knew who was in charge, and that was Governor Barbour. Governor, thank you. Everyone under this pavilion today and everyone in the state of Mississippi was fortunate to have Governor Barbour at the helm during Katrina. He showed the world what it meant to be an effective leader during a crisis. He had a steady hand, and his tireless advocacy helped guide our state through this dark time. He stood strong for our state, whether it was in Jackson or the halls of the Capitol in Washington. He never once wavered. He never once quit. He said something earlier today which I believe is so incredibly important. He said, it often immediately after the storm. He was asked while down here, Governor, do you think we'll ever get the coast back to where it was? And his response was, well, if that's all we do, we will have failed. Instead, we're going to invest and make the coast as great as it can be. And when you go up and down this coastline, when you look at the people and the industries that are here in our state today, 20 years later, it is incredible. The greatest people on earth, the greatest economy on earth, the greatest place to live on earth, all because of the work of everyone in Mississippi. While today is a solemn reminder of unthinkable tragedy, it is also a reminder of the good things that can come from Mississippians working together for the greater good. In the days that followed, Mississippians did what Mississippians do best. We showed up, and Mississippians showed out. Neighbors helped neighbors. Literally tens of thousands of volunteers from all over our state and all over our nation showed up to help. Today we thank those volunteers. And one of the things that makes me most proud to be a Mississippian is we remember those individuals who came here in the immediate aftermath. And every single time there's a storm or a calamity or a disaster around our nation, Mississippians give back. And we show up because we know what it means to give because of the volunteers that came here. We began rebuilding one home, one church, one school, and one business at a time. Our state's people were certainly tested. But if you take a look around this beautiful place now, it's hard to imagine that Hurricane Katrina impacted us in the way that it did. We have built bigger and we have built better since Katrina made landfall. We erected bridges and we repaved roads. We constructed classrooms and we beautified our beaches. We said to the world, we will not allow any storm to keep us down. We're going to get up and we're going to stand taller than ever before. And that is exactly what Mississippians did. Throughout it all, our faith was tested. It would have been easy for many of you to sit around and ask, why did this happen to us? But you never did. Throughout it all, and despite the destruction, we thank the Lord for His many blessings. In the 46th chapter of Psalms, it says, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. The Lord Almighty is with us. Throughout it all, we knew God was with us. And thanks to Him, when you look around Mississippi today, you see a meteoric rise to greatness. We're attracting record capital investment in our state. More of our people are working in Mississippi today than ever before. The nation is saying our kids are making miracles happen in the classroom. And they are proving to the world that Mississippi is not making news, we're making history. Katrina taught us a lot, but it didn't teach us about ourselves. We knew who we were all along, and we knew what we were capable of. We answered a once-in-a-generation call to service, and time again, we did whatever was needed to help our state recover. When I think about Hurricane Katrina. I can't help but think about something that, as I look back on it, seems extraordinary. I think about Ely's mom, who lived in Ocean Springs and happened to be a principal in an elementary school right here in Gulfport. Not long after the storm, Governor Barbour made it a priority, correctly so, understanding that to get our people back, our schools had to be open. So not long after the storm hit, literally within a few days, we were at a place up in Jackson that sold campers, motorhomes. And she bought one. And she drove it down here. And she parked it on the grounds of that elementary school. And she lived there for months and months so the kids could get back in school. Now that seems extraordinary to me today, as it did to myself then. But as I look back on it, it really wasn't an extraordinary happening. It was actually quite ordinary. Because that's what people all along this coastline were doing to get ourselves back, to get life back to some semblance of normalcy. And it proved every single time that when you worry not about yourself, but about helping others, we will always emerge stronger. We will always emerge better. And we will always emerge tougher together. We know that Katrina's 30th and 40th and 50th anniversary, Mississippi and her people will still be here. And they will be a beautiful sight to see. Each day is a gift, and we never know what tomorrow might bring. That's why when Mississippi is challenged, we will always rise boldly to the occasion. Looking ahead, may we continue to not only invest in Mississippi's strength, but also keep our sights set on what really matters in this life: our love of God and our love of family. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. I want to close by thanking every single one of you for being here today. I'd especially like to thank Governor Barbour, Director Gabbard, the Mayor, and the TAG, Bobby Ginn, for joining us. Let today be a reminder that Mississippi's story is not about survival, it's about victory. Let today be a reminder that God will always be with Mississippi, serving as a beacon, lighting our way through the storms and guiding us back into calm waters. And let today be a reminder that regardless of the mission set in front of us, no matter how big or how small,